Hello, welcome back to Questing for Glory, Hope and Healing 2. I am Dolph. I'll be your host for the next couple of runs. And we are, of course, here to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization. Hashtag QFGHH2, hashtag Together for MH. But without further ado, we have for you Quest for Glory Triple Bingo, being run by Mr. Miller, Crow, and David. So take it away.
Hey everyone, my name is David. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm so glad we got the triple incentive because triple's what I practiced.
And I'm Mr. Miller. It's always my privilege to be here for this, and I am always terrified at the prospect of triple bingo.
Hi, I am Crow, and yeah, triple bingo on Quest for Glory for Questing for Glory. I think it'll be a great time.
And Quest for Glory, if you're not familiar with it, we've been part of, I think, every marathon that's been in Questing for Glory. We're kind of the unofficial namesake. It's always a privilege to be a part of it. But it's a point and click adventure it contains a lot of RPG elements, which makes it great for these kind of RPG speed runs. But because Quest for Glory 1 in particular is pretty much an open world right from the get-go, it makes it really nice for bingo also. But it is a Sierra point and click adventure, so there's lots of issues going on. There's an entire world that needs to be saved, and you will not be seeing most of that because we are going to be doing a lot of random tasks that you normally do not see during a speed run. And the format is something that I think Fro is going to be talking about right now, actually.
Yep. So this is bingo. If you've not seen bingo in other sorts of speedrun settings, the idea is that each of us are going to share one 5x5 grid, which will display a number of different tasks. Each task is something that you can do in the game. They range from something sensible, like win the game, which is, of course, a quick task, to something that's grindy, like get up to 90 on your weapon use skill. Or there's also the occasional actively detrimental task, like bring your total puzzle point score to -25. So, with all sorts of different tasks that try to explore as many of the different things that the game has in it to offer, we are going to be trying to complete 3 rows, columns, or diagonals of 5 tasks in order to complete that. And you'll see each of us highlight the colors, highlight the squares in the colors that represent us as we complete them. So I, for example, will be yellow. I believe Mr. PR Miller chose navy blue.
Yeah.
And then David
I'm a hot
TKI.
pink.
Yep. So yeah, that's basically how this is going to work. And pretty soon we will all reveal the board. And at that point, it should be revealed also by our host so everyone else can see it on stream. And it is likely that we're actually not going to start playing the game immediately when that happens, because we do need to take in which of the 82, I think it was, tasks that we put into the task pool were actually selected for this particular instance of the bingo board. And we have to decide what it is we're going to do, and then how to do it, and then we need to do it. And that's kind of the 3 parts of doing a bingo race that makes it kind of significantly different of a challenge compared to a more typical speed run.
Yeah, when we create our characters, we have to pick a class and then we assign starting points. So depending on the board we get, we might have different ideal stat allotments for what we've been given.
And you'll also see our particular loves and dislikes. Some of us avoid certain tasks. Others dive headfirst into them.
So I saw a question in chat: are all tasks available to all classes? No.
No.
And in order to accommodate that, we allow players to restart the game or reload the game for most things. There are a couple tasks that require you to do everything in one lifetime, but for the most part, you can do half of a task, restart the game, and then do the other half of the task, and that counts. So you will see us, well, you might see us, depending on what the board is like, flipping between different classes and restarting the game in order to do so.
Yeah. So in general, we try to do everything in one character, but it's not always possible.
All right, so with all that said, I think it's time for us to go ahead and get things started. You guys ready?
I am ready to go.
I'm looking at stream. I think I may have some technical, but we'll work it out as we go. So yeah.
Okay.
So can we get a countdown from our host?
Absolutely. So let's count you down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Quest.
All right, GLH.
Oh God, there's a
everyone.
magic task.
Oh, the best task in the middle.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Everyone loves Carl. Oh wow, that's a lot of grind tasks here. So with triple bingo, we do have to figure out 3 lines of tasks that we can do. The system that I put together for assembling the boards tries to avoid having tasks that are too similar to each other in the same rows. So that does tend to make things a little bit harder as far as coming up with synergistic stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of just gonna get straight into this. Some of the tasks that I'm eyeing are stuff like get spell expertise up and get lockpicking up, but I have also selected the play as a magic user board.
Yeah, the way David usually does it is he will highlight the never do other stuff, never do such and such a thing task, and then unselect it if he ever violates that, rather than selecting it at the end once he's confirmed that he's not done it.
Yeah,
And those are the tasks you have to plan for right at the start.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't highlighted never lockpick anything because I'm intending to get that lockpicking to 100 task done. Real quick, I'm just coming over here to the Antwerp. There's a simple little thing here you can do. Cast open on the rock door and then grind strength on it. I'm just kind of doing this as a matter of habit. I don't think it's going to tie into anything except maybe the goblin task, kill all the goblins. But this is a good way to get your strength up to 40 or 50. It can help a little bit. It's also going to allow me to do a little animation glitch with the Antwerp. Come over here. The Antwerp's going to start falling down. Let's see. Dagger up, switch to walk, cast open. And I'm gone. And my hero's going to be in kind of a weird running state, which is going to allow him to pick up certain things a lot more quickly, like these mushrooms. Ooh, Crow is marking never lockpick anything.
Yeah, I'll do that one too.
This may be a poor choice, but we'll see. Lock picking is most often useful, not so much to actually pick locks, so much as to train your agility. Lock picking is tied to agility, agility is tied to your stamina, and stamina is tied to not dying. Because in this version of the game, if you ever use see, trying to play and talk at the same time, not always easy. Okay, if you ever find yourself at 0 stamina during combat, the game just has you keel over and die immediately.
Yep.
So that's not so great. Okay, so I'm going to take care of one negative task here first, on kind of a throwaway character before I get on with the rest of what I'm doing. I'm going to take the get transformed into 3 different things task, which requires putting yourself into a can't win situation. And 2 of the transformations involve dying. So I'm going to do this and then swap to a different character after that, and then we'll move on.
I just had to run into that also. Rather than starting a new character later on, I opted to just restart now and try to do everything on one character.
Wait, do I still have the animation glitch?
You
Good.
set up the Antwerp thing?
I did, and I still have the animation glitch. That's good. That's going to allow me to pick up over 1,000 rocks. I'm going to go ahead and briefly mention combat formulas here. In combat, you have a defense score, and that defense score basically says what the monster's chance of hitting you is. Your defense score is usually a weighted average of agility, intelligence, and luck, but inventory weight subtracts from your defense score. So the more you're carrying in your inventory, the less defense you have. However, I have just picked up over 1,000 rocks, overflowed my inventory weight, and I have minus 486 pounds in my inventory. So my defense score is no longer low. It is now really, really high. Can I rest? Okay, good. Mid-afternoon still. So I'm trying to pass time until night because one of the things I picked up was get lockpicking to 100. That's something I intend to do. But I don't start with a lockpick. I can't get a lockpick until I've made the thieves sign to some thieves in the alleyway, and that doesn't happen until night. Oh,
Remind you, safety save if nobody has you.
yeah, I ran out of stamina in combat, but just barely escaped it.
That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, that's usually an instant death. So, GG, good job.
Yeah. Killing 8 goblins is one of the tasks that I intend to do, but for now I'm just coming here, killing goblins, both to make a little progress on that task, but also to drain my stamina. Because resting the way it works, your hero gets impatient if he rests too often, but there are 3 conditions. If any one of them is true, then you can rest. If your stamina is below half, you can rest. If it's a new day, you can rest. And if it has been an hour since you last rested, you can rest.
Speaking of resting, the game will actually eventually itself, the engine, need a rest. You're probably going to see sooner or later quite a number of glitches that happen simply because we've been playing the game for too long. And for whatever reason, we have memory overflow issues and things, so we will either be restarting the game at some point, and you probably around the 20-minute mark on some screens, you will see a wonderful thing that we call the pallet explosion glitch, where things look real pretty. You'll see it when it comes up.
Yeah, it doesn't happen so much at night, but during the day, you will see problems once it hits. And if it persists for too long, eventually, if the glitch would happen twice, then you start getting error messages pop up. And occasionally you won't be able to get out of those error messages, so we'll often just restart the game in order to avoid that particular problem. And that is my third thing I've transformed into. I've turned into a flower, I've turned into a deer, and I have turned into a frog. So that is it for that character. Now I'm going to get on with my primary character that I'm going to be using to complete most of this game.
We don't have rob everything on the board, do we?
Not that I saw.
Okay. Alright, I am robbing both the houses, but that's just to get a lot of items in my inventory because of the collect 18 items task. Since I don't have climbing, I'm going to have to pass time until a new day. Because I'm stuck in town.
Oh, Well, that's an easy thing to fix in that one.
Yeah,
That's
just
not
sleep until day.
Yeah, that's not nearly as debilitating as some things.
Yeah, plus I have my lockpick now. So I can start training that. So lockpicking is probably one of the best skills in this game, just from an overall training purpose. It goes extremely fast. My lockpicking is already 45 now. So I can start picking my nose now, which is kind of a little Easter egg. You click the lockpick on yourself and you pick your nose, but it's actually a valid training strategy for lockpicking. The difficulty of picking your nose is 40. You need at least 40 lock picking to do it safely. I should also talk a little bit about stat grinding. Whenever you do a skill check against something, it has a certain difficulty, and the closer you are to that difficulty, the more experience you get in that skill. So if you're more than 50 away from your target difficulty, you're not going to get any experience. And so that's going to be why I'm going to be lock picking my nose, but it's only going to get up to about 91 or 91 to 93. I need to consider what I'm doing right now. Let's see, open both treasure chests later. 7 different things contained in flasks. That means I'm going to have to pass time till night. Did I rest? Okay, good. I did rest. Purplesaurus wanted me to have a bad time.
Did you choose to have a bad time?
No, I ran away, bravely.
Ah, so you are Sir Robin then.
Bravely ran away.
All right. So at present, I am doing the rock door grind. So in order to gain strength in this game, one way you can do that is by repeatedly trying to open the backdoor entrance to the brigands area. The brigands are the final boss / gauntlet area of the game, and the intention is that you make a dispel potion by collecting a whole bunch of crap throughout the game, and then after you've assembled that dispel potion, you take it to the brigands, you splash the dispel potion on the brigand leader, and you find out, oh, okay, it was Princess Elsa the whole time. So, as it turns out, the door at the back checks your strength in order to open it. And so, because of that, and because the game continues to check your strength even if the door is already open, and because there's no animation associated with it, you can use that in order to grind your strength pretty high. You can't get all the way to 100 with that, but you can get pretty close to that. And additional strength will cause my attacks to do additional damage, which is particularly important because I will be taking on the defeat a group of 8 goblins task. Looking at what the players have highlighted so far, I do have a suspicion that we may have selected a fair number of similar tasks to each other, which is interesting and not
Almost certainly.
usually what we do.
That happens or doesn't happen depending, like I said, on different players' sensibilities, what they're comfortable with, because a lot of we all tend to run different categories on this game. Like we all know how to run the game, but because we run different categories, we don't always run into the same things. Crow, you've done 100% wizard or magic user and some other categories. David does 100% everything. I'm any percent everything. So
Yeah, I do have a certain love for the fighter. Which is part of why I tend to choose grinding tasks or fighting tasks.
I may have put myself in a soft lock sort of scenario.
uh-oh.
That would be bad.
Doesn't seem to want me to avoid crashing whenever I do the Antwerp animation speed glitch. Okay, there we go. Got it out of it. Sweet. Okay, just had to change the order of things. I accidentally entered the Antwerp falling on you area first. And then after that, save the game. which is the opposite order of what is safe there. So whenever I didn't exactly have the icons set to what they needed to be, that created a little bit of a problem. I'm not even sure if I wound up getting the animation speed glitch properly set up anyway as a result, because I was in walking animation whenever I got there. Whatever. It's probably fine.
All right, so a brief bit with the fairies at the fairy rink. They're gonna tell you to dance. They're not asking; they're telling. And if your agility is 25 or higher, then you're gonna do the long, slow dance. To do the fast dance, you need low agility, and I do not have low agility because I have been spending a lot of time lock picking. I wonder if I can sleep at Henry's.
You can.
I mean, I'm kind of
It
trying
has to be
to.
nighttime. You cannot do it at sunset. You can
Ah,
sleep
yes.
in a lot
That's
of places
nighttime.
at sunset, but not there.
Uh,
Yeah, I did not
light-
get the animation speed into the rock picking up section, so a little bit of a time loss there. Honestly, I probably don't even need to bother with the rock thing, but it's not that big of a time invest. Oh, right. Actually, I think I do need to do it because of that. Okay. So with picking up rocks, I'm overflowing my weight so that my defense power becomes ridiculously
Wait.
high, even if I'm not.
How do I
defensive.
have -1 gold piece?
It happens from time to time. I wish I knew how to do it consistently, or else I would try to abuse it more, but it just seems to kind of happen sometimes, and I don't really have a good explanation for why.
Nice.
But yeah, the game will occasionally exchange your gold for more silver. 1 gold is worth 10 silver. That's the conversion rate in this game. Yeah.
I locked myself out of killing the kobold easily, so instead I'm just killing the bear.
Priorities. The bear's a jerk.
He's not the best. Not the
So
best.
to get
be
out
certain.
of the
Hey, look at that! I soft logged after killing the ogre. That's okay. I safety saved right before it because that's happened before. Question in chat: which player is which color on the grid? Pink is for David, yellow's for Crow, blue is for Miller.
Yep.
That was neat.
So
I didn't know I could
I
die
think
like
a
that.
lot of these tasks are going to wind up getting filled in at kind of approximately the same time as each other. That's how it's probably going to turn out. There are a fair number of grinding tasks on the
Oh
board,
no.
and if you're going for multiple, it often turns out that the way to go is to get all of them cleared at about the same time.
Well, that's a neat trick. I ended up saving as I was dying from exhaustion in a place where I was standing still. Again, another thing that I don't think I've ever seen happen before.
Yeah, if you are in the running stance, you're always draining stamina, regardless of whether you're actually moving. Which is kind of a big deal whenever you're trying to do brave percent,
Yeah,
which is
nice.
totally a thing. I don't think I actually need to do anything here, do I?
Oh, I am way behind right now.
Oh, great. I actually do need to anger Crusher. That's what I was thinking. That's why I thought I needed to go here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dispel potion. That's what I'm missing.
Does Crusher inflict damage on you when he rejects you from the bar?
I don't think so.
No.
See, I don't think I remembered to buy the fetch spell. I'm gonna need that for the dispel potion. I only just kind of internalized now that 7 different things that are contained in flasks. That
It's
that
hard.
includes the dispel potion. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on this board. Sometimes it's hard to internalize all of it.
Sometimes?
Most of the time.
Frequently. I'm doing the most fun thing in the entire game right now.
What is
That
that?
Are you
middle
dodging?
square right now. Talking to Carl and his never-ending stream of ridiculousness. Carl is known. He's the guard that's at the castle, and he is that guards the fort, the gates, and he is known for having a extremely robust, easily more than far and away more than anything else in the entire game. A dialogue tree,
Yeah.
which we figured out takes something like probably like what 2 minutes if you're really fast, but it's such a slog to get through it that you often find yourself not going back and doubling up on things, and it's really not fun to get through.
Okay, I just realized I need to do stuff in a different order here.
First.
Yeah, if I can just chime in for a brief moment.
This is a great time.
Yeah, so we've had a $25 donation from Jake with no comment. Thank you very much. But on that note, this is actually the start of a new prize block. So
Ooh.
we have available during this block, first of all, from Game KMD, we have a gaming headset for PS4 or PS5, and that's available for any $10 or more donation from now until the end of Dragon Quest Builders this afternoon. And we also have from Plush Mayhem, a metal slime plush that you can find a link to it on our prizes page if you want to take a look at it. And that'll be for any $5 donation from now until the end of Dragon Quest Builders. So if you're interested in either of those prizes, try to get donation in sooner the better. And remember, we are donating to benefit NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Their work's focused around 3 pillars: education and support, awareness, and advocacy. Education and support for their 48 state offices and more than 650 affiliates. NAMI offers a host of signature programs, presentations, and support groups that are available free of charge. This includes a national helpline that can provide information, resources, and a compassionate, understanding, trained volunteer to support anyone who calls in. These programs reach more than 300,000 people a year and are life-changing opportunities for education, connection, support, and personal growth. So yeah, throw it back to the runners.
So I'm presently using a glitch in order to defeat the Kobold Wizard. The Kobold Wizard has turned the prince of the area into a bear. He's the son of a baron, so that makes him a baronet, technically. Anyway, the glitch I'm using is called insert storage, or at least that's what we call it. So essentially, I am storing the crosshairs for casting the flame dart spell in order to repeatedly release fireballs without actually casting the spell, because the spell is cast in order to add the crosshairs to your cursor. And that's where you actually spend all of your mana and SP on doing that. So, by storing it into the insert key, which is like it's a temporary storage for flipping between the walk command and the whatever other command you were trying to use. I think the intention is to make things easier for keyboard players. But regardless, as it turns out, it makes things a lot easier for speedrunners, because you can store that crosshairs for releasing fireballs and thereby not have to worry about if you are massively short on the MP to defeat something.
It comes in really handy against the troll and the cheetar, since for some weird reason in 100% all the classes are required to defeat those 2 monsters, but the magic user and the thief aren't really going to actually spend the time to train to take them out. So hit and run tactics with Flame Dart, especially since it doesn't cost any mana, and then you're good to go. So I'm gonna have to dance with the fairies a second time.
The dance of shame.
Yeah, since I only got one flask of fairy dust from them, but I need another to finish that 7 different things contained in flasks task. Let's go with a zap for this round.
So I'm clearing out a couple of different tasks at once here. I'm taking care of give food to 4 different creatures, as well as sleeping on 3 different surfaces, where I have to sleep on flowers, on hay, and on a bed. So as I went into the inn, I gave some food to a merchant who was out on his luck. Because he's got his stuff stolen by the brigands. And then I slept on the bed. And next I'm going to Henry, who will accept food as payment for sleeping on his straw. And then I will reload yet again in order to head over to Arana's Peace, which is a place of safety with a meadow, and I can sleep on flowers there. I'm also picking up the trigger spell while I'm here, which I will need in order to complete Mage's Maze. I also need to anger Henry in order to be expelled from his premises, because that's another task that I've taken on. It needs to be rejected by Henry, by Crusher, and by Erasmus.
You've made the hermit unhappy.
Indeed, I have. And now I'll make him happy by giving him food, and I guess he wants you to play cribbage or something. I don't think the game makes it clear whether you play it or not, but whatever. I've now slept on hay, and now I'll reload the game yet again and head out so I can sleep on flowers. Sleeping on the flowers is actually worth extra points if you are a magic user, because sleeping there completely restores your magic, where normally you will take a lot less magic healing than that, particularly if your magic stat is high. You get, per hour of resting, you get 12 MP normally, but sleeping here is a full restore no matter what on magic. Okay, so I need to catch up on this stuff. I've given food and I've slept on a variety of surfaces. Where was that one?
Oh, there's my pallet explosion.
You gonna
Hooray,
fix it?
hooray.
I took the sleeping on different surfaces thing. Was that not actually on the board?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, I was remembering a practice run, apparently.
We've
Well, I completed the non-existent task, so mission accomplished.
GG, Crow. Good job. We're proud of you. And we've all done it. That's the beauty of it.
Okay, so I actually need to make sure. This. Okay, so at this point I have picked up. Okay, I need to make sure I don't die whenever I do this. I'll probably die though. Yeah, I'll die. Flame dart on your own face is ridiculously high
Actually do
damage
that.
here, so I do need to survive one more projectile.
Explosion.
You too, huh? We
Yeah.
told you it would start happening pretty quick here.
I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go and reset it or not.
I'm gonna let it go for a little bit here, just to let everybody know what we suffer through for our love of this game.
I need to decide what I'm doing in what order. I guess I'll do this next.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder myself what I'm going to be doing in what order. Ooh.
I do need to pass time tonight one more time because my lock picking is not 100 yet, and it's close. I have a specific place I want to train it. A lot of times in casual plays, you're going to get lock picking up to 91 to 93 because it's so easy to do it picking your nose, but then it suddenly caps out there and you have to wonder how to get it all the way to 100. And, well, there's pretty much two different places you could do that. The Antwerp door is difficulty 85, and that could get you up most of the way. But you also can only do it once each time you're on the screen. So instead, you might want to go into town and pick some of the doors there at night. I'm talking to Carl.
I'll be there eventually. It's right in the middle of the board, so it's kind of hard to avoid.
You know if he says anything interesting this time.
Well, if you ask him about his name, he'll tell you his name is Carl.
That's really interesting. But I don't care.
You're sure?
I'm not sure. I do want to dance, yes.
Oh, you're dancing again?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I can't say no or I die.
I'm getting too scared to continue the pallet swap
Zap.
or the pallet explosion glitch.
Yeah, if you play with Pallet Explosion too long, the game will eventually crash.
Marvelously too.
It tries to bring up a
I think that's it.
oops, invalid palette box, but that doesn't always work. It's like a error message thing, which
Hey, my tastes are my own. Alright, let's see if I can finish off this 7 flasks task. Let's see. Mana, vigor, dispel, health, unguent, dust, water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7.
While to go there for this.
Alright, now to spend all my money on mana potions because one of the tasks I picked was get a spell to 90 expertise. So a little more about stat grinding and how it works. When you're training certain skills, sometimes it's doing a difficulty of a check of a specific skill against a specific level. When you're casting spells, for example, you're not testing the magic or intelligence stats. You're doing the spell skill specifically. Oh, Bruno's here. I can't practice in front of him.
yeah, he'll kill you.
Um,
Bruno's
But,
one of the brigands. He's also a member of the town's thieves guild, I think. Anyway, he
Let me
will give you
continue
the friendly
for-
advice to drink dragon's breath, which will kill you if you do that. So yeah, he's just generally not a nice guy. He'll also kill you if you try to do anything that looks like it's aggressive in front of him.
But yeah, a little more about grinding. Some stats have secondary skills that get trained during them. The higher those skills are, the more quickly your primary goes up. So, as an example, spellcasting does train both magic and intelligence. They just get a flat 4 or 2 experience apiece. But the higher your magic and intelligence are, the more quickly your spell skill experience goes up. And there are a bunch of other skills that are like that too. Weapon use goes up more quickly if strength and agility are high. Dodge and parry go up more quickly if agility and intelligence are high. Things like that.
And it's that time whenever you pick up the kobold's mushrooms and you try to sell mushrooms over and over again to the healer.
Yeah.
Wait.
You're only supposed to get credit for selling 3 packs of mushrooms. Unfortunately for the game, though, they forgot to actually check that. So, yeah. So you in the VGA version, not the EGA, there's, I guess we should specify what that's about. The game also has a type in your commands text parser version of it. And we call that one the EGA version. It was the original version that was released. This is the remake that came out that showcased the magical technology of having a mouse. Also updated graphics and all that. But this game expects you to have a mouse and requires you to, point at things and click on them rather than typing descriptions of what you want to do, like get ye flask, for example.
So, on that note, I kind of want to mention our Taskmaster series, which this bingo was kind of born out of, because, a few months ago we started doing just arbitrary races. Somebody, usually Caravalenge, gives us a task, and then we have to go and immediately do it as quick as possible. One of the tasks, which was really fun, but unfortunately we didn't put on the bingo board because we thought it would just derail everything, was get the Dispel Potion without ever using the mouse. Keyboard only.
Oh,
That was fun. So Kara, by the way, is largely responsible for the chain of events that led to this being a thing at all. Without him, I do not think that bingo or Quest for Glory would have become a thing. So big shout out to him.
Ran out of stamina at the same time that I ended the fight. Very lucky.
So I just got my Detect Magic skill to 90.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah, that would be a quick one to cast.
Yeah, if you're not going to train during Mage's Maze, which doing that has some issues. So yeah, if you're not going to train in Mage's Maze, then that is kind of the logical alternative. I'm going to need some potions here.
Alright, so I've gone into town at night and I'm now picking doors just to practice lockpicking. So most skill checks, well, about half the skill checks are against a set difficulty, but some of the ones like lockpicking in town are random difficulty. Random difficulty tasks are ones that you can usually get up to 100 that way. You do have to be careful in town. I'm switching screens every 2 picks because the game allows you to pick the doors a random number of times before the sheriff comes to arrest you. It resets every time you switch screens, and 2 is a safe amount for each screen.
Yeah, so if I can just chime in for a second.
Yes.
We have a $50 donation from Zahariel, who writes, "This one goes out to all my iGamer buds who struggle with mental illness. You're not fighting alone." So thank you very much for that donation. And we also have a $10.01 donation from Xerox with no comment. Thank you very much. If you're wondering,
nice.
if you're wondering what you can be donating for, coming up in the very next run, Quest for Glory Shadow of Darkness, we have a unique game over incentive that's currently at $79 out of $300. So a bit of work to still get there, but I know we can do it. So get your donations in now.
Yeah, the Sierra adventure games in particular are famous for having many, many different ways to die.
Many.
Speaking of which, I'm actually really close to finishing up my board. I gotta get that die by falling task. I have just stolen 2 healing potions from the healer, which is usually pretty bad because she's gonna notice and then never let me in there again. Don't ever talk to me or my son's son again.
Something like that. Wow, Erasmus is being really mean on this maze. Keeps dismantling the stuff I make. Well, whatever. I got through anyway. Okay, I have 1 Mage's Maze. And I have now been removed from the premises by Erasmus. I previously did Henry and Crusher, so we're good on that. Just realized I need to collect a lot more random crap than what I've been collecting, so I'm going to go collect some more random crap.
Alright, so I have 1 task left, which is going to require me to restart because being transformed into 3 different things is basically That's basically fighter only.
But if you do that, you will no
Oh,
longer be
ooh.
playing as magic user only.
Oh,
You're right. You're right.
that is rough.
You're right. You're completely right.
Okay, David has to make a new plan from the beginning. That's the danger of the what we call the never tasks, the tasks that pertain to restricting what you can do rather than cataloging that you have done something. And by committing to that, you are putting yourself in a scenario where if you forget or whatever, you could just be in a place where you can no longer do what you thought you were going to do.
All right, so I've given food to the bear and to the merchant. I've also given food to myself. Does that count?
No.
Okay.
I mean, not intentionally, kind of, but I don't think that was the. Oh, that is funny.
Okay.
There are plenty of creatures to give food to. You don't have to give it to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah,
No need to be
being
that
selfish.
What am I doing then?
Ow. Fred is not being nice today.
Who?
Fred the troll.
Oh, is he ever nice?
No, I usually don't have a problem killing him.
Okay, so I'm going to quickly.
Oh, Henry. I
Um,
gave food to Henry.
All right, yep, that counts. You don't even have to sleep there. You just do that.
I've slept there. Okay, so Bear, Abdullah, Henry. So I guess Fox next.
Okay, so I'm going to accomplish a couple of tasks here at once by beating the game. So I'm going to get myself cursed by Baba Yaga. Unfortunately, this curse does not come with a free Frogurt. So that's a little disappointing.
What a reference.
However, once I am cursed, I'm supposed to get Baba Yaga
Oh,
Mandrake
duh,
Root.
Groggy.
But instead, I'm just going to beat the game, and that is one of the tasks on the board here. So I'll be completing that. And as I do that, I'm also going to be going through the Brigands' gauntlet area. And that's a place where I can get hit by an arrow. I've previously been hit by a dagger thrown by me, a rock also thrown by me, and the lightning ball spell. So once I get hit by an arrow and survive that, that'll be me surviving getting hurt by 4 different projectiles. But wait, I hear the straw man say, why don't you just hit yourself with a flame dart in the face? Well, it turns out that hitting yourself in the face with a flame dart deals like 70 damage or something ridiculous. So yeah, I'm not
50,
doing
I
that.
think.
Yeah,
I think it's 50.
it's a lot, and I likely would not survive. So it's actually easier in general to just
Yep, got that. Where's that?
beat the game altogether. And I sure hope I saved before I went in there. I did. Good. Okay. Run, switch to grab icon, and then here we go. So I'm using a glitch in order to clip into the Brigand Fortress. If you're in the middle of the climbing animation, whenever you... Oh, whoops. Don't. Well, I did survive an arrow before I just blundered straight into the Antwerp's tripwire. Many ways to die in this game. Okay, so if you're in the middle of climbing the wall, we're not sure exactly what the reason is, but for some reason, whenever the Minotaur tries to bring you into combat, instead the game just sends you into the next area. You're supposed to have to like open the fortress gate in order to get in, or have to be really good at climbing. But by failing to climb with the right timing, I can just suddenly be inside. So now I'm just going to clear out the rest of the end of the game in order to beat the game while cursed by Baba Yaga. I've also completed surviving getting hit by 4 projectiles, so I'll mark that while I'm waiting for three guys who are definitely not Larry, Curly, and Mo to catch up with me, and then I can hit them with a chandelier. Such a
Okay,
wide guy.
I'm just about to finish up my new improvised plan,
Oh my
which
gosh.
is column 2 instead of column 1. Funny thing, you don't have to actually have the throwing skill in order to win it, dagnabbit.
Do you, in this case?
I do not have the throwing skill.
I
Nice.
did not realize that.
You do have to have a dagger, which caused many issues for fighters coming here until I found that out. And that's going to be time for me.
Good for
Nice.
you, man. GG.
So instead of actually dealing with Elsa here, I'm just going to look at my stat screen and then walk out. And that's victory. For the game, not for the board. So I have just beaten the game all cursed by Baba Yaga. I now have a couple other things I need to clear out before I am considered as having won. So, in particular, I have committed myself to defeating a group of 8 goblins, which shouldn't be excessively difficult. I also have committed to defeating Sorty Lordy, which, that's the weapon master. I did take this. I forgot to take parry. Okay,
Nice. Oh.
That's, yeah.
Hey, that's a problem. So I also am in a I need to replan everything sort of a situation now.
Yeah, it only takes one oversight, just one, for your entire plan to derail. I'm gonna
Yep.
park myself here. This is good music.
Okay, so
60.
I should be able to clear out the 8 goblins tasks without too much difficulty from where I am right now, but then I'm going to do Sorty Lordy. Sorty Lordy actually requires a somewhat different set of training than the goblins do. The goblins are basically just a stamina check. Do you have enough stamina to grind out the goblins? And in order to facilitate that, I have trained my Zap skill. Zap is a spell that enhances your next attack with each cast. So I'm using that in order to be more stamina efficient in taking out the goblins here. Particularly since they sometimes hide behind their shields.
I
But
just
then
want
after
say
that,
I'm
I'm going to have to train again in order to defeat Sorty Lordy. Sorty Lordy is a significant weapon use check is the biggest part of that.
Some parts weapon accuracy, some parts stamina. As long as you use the inventory weight overflow, then Sorty's not going to hit you very much. So you just need to hit him. Alright, so I think I heard our host wanting to chime in.
Yeah, just wanted to say I was loving that pink cloak as you were fighting those goblins.
Yeah, I got my pallet explosion right around now.
Nice.
But yeah,
It's
we
about
also
time.
we also have a $25 donation from our hardworking restreamer Night Flyer. So thank you very much for that. And with that, we are less than $200 away from meeting that incentive for Quest for Glory: Shadow of Darkness.
Oh, that'll be criminal if that doesn't happen. And there's 8.
Yeah, if
As
you meet
usual,
that
they
incentive.
wound up clearing a pretty large percentage of the board. Whenever we first started doing these bingos, David's usual plan was to just kind of do tasks at random and then decide what rows to go for, which wound up having him clear like 75% of the board sometimes. Okay, so I did just do a group of goblins and...
Yep. Yeah, but as we started getting better, Crow started planning out his routes, and then that forced me to start planning my routes out a little better too. And I did do that, I just had an oversight. But I had a backup plan, because I actually stuck a lot of my points into magic just in case I needed that task. Good thing, too.
Mm-hmm. So for the moment, I'm running with the pallet glitch. I think before the game crashes, I should be able to clear out, get 18 different items, which is what I'm working on right now. You have to buy slowly from the healer, or else the healer will steal your money and run. Because she's great like that.
Well, Quest for Glory 1 is a little weird with its item giving script. Like, it will start the script to give you the item, but it takes a second or two until it actually gives you the item. So if you interrupt that script by, say, buying another item, then suddenly you've been robbed. So, I'm just doing to the healer what she does to us all the time.
Pretty much. Okay. Yo, you, give me some green fur. Yeah, I think that's enough. Oh, I already got green fur. Okay, so I need 2 more items. Do I have a piece of paper? I do. Okay.
Do you have the mandrake?
I do not. That would
So,
work.
yeah, you could buy 2 unguents and then get the mandrake root.
Should have enough climbing to grab the spirea here, so that's one of them. Oh, wait, I don't think I have flowers. I can grab those. There we go, there's the seed. This time taken without slicing down the plants. Oh, wow, Aranos piece. I forgot just how amazing this place looks. Pallet explosion. Okay, so that should be... Yep, that is 18 items, so I've got that. I do have at least 100 points, although I'm not using that square, so I'll go ahead and mark it. And I need to die by falling, and I need to exhaust Carl's conversation tree. Couple last things here. And sort of
I'm in that awkward situation where I have to, I don't have any skills that I can use to, oh, actually I do, never mind. Well, in that case, I'm in no awkward situation that I haven't put myself in.
Excellent. Glad to hear
That's
you
kind of
didn't
awkward
do that thing
situation.
you didn't do.
Yeah. So I'm looking over this board a little bit more, and I'm noticing 3 lockpicking related tasks. There's never lockpick anything. There's use the Thieves Toolkit, but not the simple lockpick, and then there's get lockpicking to 100. And that's kind of interesting, because all 3 of those are kind of conflicting. The Thieves Toolkit is actually detrimental to getting lockpicking to 100, because it gives you a bonus. But that just means that you're further away from your target DCs when you get to the high end. And also, you can't pick your nose with the Thieves Toolkit.
No, you cannot. Yeah, that was the big decision point for me. Was I going to pick locks or not? If lockpicking was okay, I was going to take that task. It seemed like otherwise the row was pretty nice. But it meant abandoning the never blockpick anything task, which I did want to do.
Yeah, we actually have quite a few tasks that are designed to weaken both the climbing and lockpicking skills, and by extension, the thief as a class. Because lockpicking trains so quickly, and it brings up your agility with it. Agility itself is a really quick stat, and then climbing gets you into all sorts of places, and also brings up strength and agility really quickly. It's useful, it's versatile, and the thief gets both for free. So the thief is by default usually the strongest class for this. So we have a lot of tasks on the board that are designed to weaken the strength of lockpicking or climbing or the thief in general.
Such as play as magic user only. I mean, if there's been
Yeah,
times where that
certainly
one
one.
has hit the
Kind of
hit
an
the center
extreme
square.
case.
Oh yeah, playing as a magic user only is very rough because magic as a skill in general is really strong, but because of the way we've designed our bingo boards, you don't really want to use magic too much unless there's a task that specifically calls for it, because climbing or throwing are usually faster solutions when training's involved. I
Yeah,
just saw Crow hit his
also...
head on some rocks.
Yeah, yep, I have died by falling now. So another issue with magic user is that the only extra skill they have is magic. So if you want to get a huge magic skill, then yeah, sure, magic user will do that for you. But most of what you want to do with magic can be done with just like 5 points in it. So you're usually better off multi-classing
Yeah.
a different character into magic rather than starting as a magic user and picking some other skills or committing super hard on magic. So that's why usually magic user is a little weaker. In this case, I was playing as a magic user for most of the time because I wanted the zap spell for the goblin group. What I forgot to do, however, was make sure that I had the parry skill, which does cost 15 stat points. I just forgot to do it. Without the parry skill, I'm not allowed to take on the weapon master and therefore cannot defeat the weapon master. So that's kind of my problem there.
There's also a really well-known stat glitch that's in this game where at the beginning of the game you can take every stat by glitching the game and putting one of your stats really far into the negative. So you can pick up almost every single stat. And usually, funny enough, parry is the one that is sacrificed, but we actually don't allow that for this category or for most categories. I mean, the only one that's really allowed to do that is any percent.
Like just pure any percent. I mean, even the collection any percent doesn't allow it.
Correct.
Yeah. We almost never allow stat glitch. Kind of like how in the EGA versions of 1 and 2, we usually do not allow the debug codes. Okay. So no razzle dazzle root beer for anyone. Sorry.
Unfortunately. Actually, Dazzle's a pretty cheap spell, isn't it?
It's not too expensive. It's not
3
too
mana?
effective either, though.
Like everything, it depends on what you're using it for.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ray. No blue frogs either.
Yes, no blue frogs.
Blue frogs are not allowed. What do you think this is, Shapir? No, this is Razir here.
Okay, so I have given myself the animation glitch successfully this time in order to pick up enough rocks to take on the weapon master. In this version of the game in particular, it is nearly impossible to defeat the weapon master unless you either ditch all of your equipment just before fighting so you don't have the extra weight, causing him to basically always hit you regardless of your stats, or if you overflow your weight by picking up a heck of a lot of rocks, which is what I'm doing.
Wow, that did not help as much as I was hoping it would.
I think I got it there. And I need to check this. Yep, I've got the negative weight.
Yeah. I don't believe I've mentioned the weapon accuracy formula yet.
Go for it.
Sure. So in combat, you have a certain weapon accuracy. When you try to hit with your weapon, you've got a chance to hit the monster's defense based on your own accuracy. And that accuracy is a weighted average of weapon use, agility, strength, intelligence, and luck. Weapon use is weighted the most heavily. It makes up basically half the weight by itself, 8 times divided by 16. But agility is pretty high too. It's like 4 times agility. Agility makes up like a quarter of your accuracy, so it's usually a really helpful skill. In fact, agility is weighted pretty heavily in defense too. It's like 5/8 of your defense. So
also the extra stat for making your other stats grind faster for quite a few stats. So agility just overall is really, really good to have.
It's probably the most useful stat overall.
Right now, I'm trying to gain enough magic points to hit 90. That's the last task I'm working on. So I'm in an area that allows me to cast a spell without creating any sort of casting animation, which is
That's
another
your
way
last task?
that is my last. If I'm seeing things right, yeah, that should be it.
Yeah, so I'm grinding on goblins here to get my weapon use up, so that I can take on Swordy Lordy. I'm on the way to Sorty Lordy. I'm going to be talking to Carl. So once I do those two things, I will be done with my triple bingo.
Yeah, about 50 to 60 weapon use should do it.
Yeah, I need weapon use so I can actually hit the Swordmaster, and then a couple other stats help too, as David just described. But yeah, 50 to 60 is about what you expect. Usually, in order to make things easier, you'll get a lockpick and you'll use that to train agility. You can get agility up to like 60 or so by lockpick training. But I don't have that, and I chose the never lockpick anything skill anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, if I can chime in for a quick moment.
You may.
We just had a massive $200 donation from Axoden, who writes, Quest for Glory, my back burner speedrunning project I might get to sometime this millennium. In the meantime, I can watch these fine people continue to utterly break the games. So thank you so much for that. And with that donation, we have met the unique game over incentive for Quest for Glory,
Hooray!
Shadow of Darkness, excuse me. But feel free to keep on donating because we are running this marathon to support NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Remember that 1 in 5 Americans live with a mental health condition, and fewer than half of adults living with these conditions will receive treatment each year. Many factors contributed to this, including stigma, lack of access, and lack of knowledge and resources. So remember, it's okay to not be okay right now, and you can always reach out to NAMI if you need help. At their helpline is at 800-950-NAMI.
All right, like to give a quick shout out back to Exodin. He is also known for doing a bunch of work behind the scenes for the Final Fantasy IV community. He produces the step routes. He's decompiled most of the game, and as a result, I've used his work pretty often whenever I have worked on Final Fantasy IV: The Lunarian Shuffle, which is my randomizer for the game. So yeah, his resources have been very helpful on all of that stuff. So big thanks to him. So do we
Now
have?
it's just a clicking war right now, huh?
Yeah, you've got to be close to 90 magic by now.
I'm at like
Where are you
84.
grinding, and which spell are you casting?
Casting open at the Spirea seeds.
Makes sense. It's a spell that can actually do something there.
Yeah,
I think I need
unfortunately,
one more training session, then I'll be heading into fight Sorty Lordy.
yeah. So unfortunately, the speed of training magic or intelligence or spell skill is not tied to the mana cost of the spell. It's one cast, one roll to get experience. And so for that reason, the fastest spells for training are usually the ones that cost the least amount of mana, which is going to be the open and detect magic spells. Those cost only 2 mana.
Because of the way that stats gain, I could probably cast 5 or 6 times and have absolutely no progress whatsoever, which is what just happened.
Well, you're making progress.
Oh, yeah.
You just probably haven't rolled over internally yet. More about stat gain. So each skill has an internal accumulator tracking how much experience you've gotten in that skill. Once the accumulated amount is equal to your current skill, then that amount is removed from the accumulator and your skill levels up. The amount it levels up is a random number between 1 and 3. So when I say something like, oh, that's 10 experience for strength, then in most scenarios, like you have to do that like with starting strength, you have to do it 2 or 3 times and then you get a level up. But with your strength in the 90s, you'd probably have to do it 9 or 10 times to get your level up.
Effectively, the amount of time it takes you to grind a stat is more or less quadratic in growth, I think is how it works out, because the amount of experience you need per level up scales with your current skill. number.
Almost there. 88.
Okay, so I'm talking to Carl right now, learning all about the curse and the hut from Baba Yaga. There's like, I want to say 8 or so different conversation options that'll lead you to that particular conversation tree whenever you're going through. So yeah, I think I got that now. Opening the gate, and I did remember to loot a goblin or two because I was out of money. So I need a little bit of cash in order to challenge Sorty Lordy here. So right, I also need to drink a vigor potion, which is invigorating, the game says. And let's see if I can do this.
Was somebody flasking for puns?
Very
Oh
much
my.
so.
Are you on your last task here, Crow?
Yeah, I just need to beat the weapon master, and then that's that.
I am
Assuming
one.
I can.
I am 1 away.
Oh, you gotta level up for 1 stat. Ouch.
1 stat point.
So if you know when that level up is coming, it's possible to save right before you do it, and then a save scum to get the level up that you want.
The
Like,
trouble is the game doesn't show you your partial level up experience at all for any of the stats.
yeah, so you kind of have to make a guess as to how close you are to leveling up. I'm really getting hungry.
Did you run out of rations?
Yeah, I'm feeling irrational right now.
Probably low on stamina right now, so I'm a little concerned. Might not actually get the victory. I was going in with like 55 weapon use, which is kind of borderline since my other stats are pretty low. I just got the I am so exhausted message, and I did not get it. Okay. I'm just going to have to hope for better RNG next go.
92 time. I got mine.
Yeah, I barely would have gotten it if I won that fight. Oh well.
That was so close.
I got this 1 stat point gain on my one because I didn't know when to reset. It's just, no! It's so boring clicking the same button over and over. Oh. Well, as is tradition, David does have a tendency to complete triple bingo pretty quickly on this.
Yeah,
Getting way better RNG this time. You can tell my progress on the fight because I'll move left on the screen if I'm scoring hits. Yep, this time I won like in a third of the time it would have taken for my stamina to run out. So that's time.
Oh gosh. Finished right around the same time. Nice.
Yeah, yikes, that was a nail biter of a finish.
This was a pretty tough board.
This wasn't as fast as it looked whenever I first started.
Yeah, I made a pretty big boo-boo on the not taking parry, and David also made a pretty big boo-boo on committing to a non-magic user task.
Well, more specifically, I committed to a column that was impossible.
Yeah,
the individual column is oh yeah, I guess so. Yep. You just literally cannot do that.
You can only do column 1 or at least column 1, row 1 as a fighter. That's why.
I wonder if the animation speed glitch affects working at the stable. I'm about to find out.
Nice.
Okay, so with that, we are in fact done with the bingo race. So
we did it. Hey.
Yep. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been a lot of fun. I am Crow.
I'm David.
And I am Mr. P.R. Miller. This has been a pleasure.
And as is tradition, none of us are heroes.
Ever.
Well, I sort of beat the game. I didn't help Elsa, but I caused the game to think I won.
All the donators are heroes. That's who donated and won. Yeah.
Yes, you the viewers are the heroes here.
Yeah, thank you to all of our runners. And speaking of one of those heroes, we have a $25 donation from Hobbs. Thank you very much for that. And so coming up next, we have Quest for Glory, Shadow of Darkness by Excuse
Ustra
me.
Hazu.
Thank you. I was stumbling over it in my head, but yes, Ustra Hazu. So stay tuned.